Hey there, I am JB and welcome at Artsville City Skylines 2. In today's episode I would like to focus mainly onto this area right down here. We're going to renew the area and we're going to add in double the services of what we have right now. And or I would like to move up the train depot to this industrial area, and we're going to move up some of the industrial area into this area right down here and make it look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more spread out. I want to add in a train station right down here. Also renew the area of the farmland because it doesn't look very realistic too. And probably we will end up doing a couple more things. But before doing that, I would also like to show you what I've been doing to little fronts right down here. Because we had a little bit of a traffic issue that all of the traffic came from the highway right down here in the middle of this whole town. And we had a couple of ways in from this area. Now we fixed it up, this entrance and exit right down here. We made an entrance and exit right down in here. And much more was needed because the traffic issue was basically moving up to a new area. So we ended up making an entrance and exit right down here. And then off camera, I made another entrance and exit right down here. I'm just going to take this tool so I can go underneath the ground. And it's going to go up here and then right down here. And it was still not solved. The rush hours were keep being busy in this area. So there was one more thing that I could be doing, and that is make one last entrance into this area. In the entrance, yes, there is no exit here because first it was an exit, but it was getting too busy and I wanted to see what would happen if I would change this into a one-way only. And so far, so good. We're going to see with rush hours how this is going to go. And of course, I'm going to keep in mind, you know, in France, especially in Paris, it is always heavy traffic. So heavy traffic, rush hours is something that we also going to need to accept for a little bit, that it will keep happening, that traffic will get stuck, right? It's just a part of life and we should just accept it. So let's move on to this area down here first and let's implement a train station. And I would like to have the train station aimed out perfectly onto this road right down here, and I think it would be nice to have a road going in this direction. Now the only problem is that this is going to go incline, so we're going to need to figure out how we're going to do this. So first of all, let's just remove these roads. And now I'm thinking of it, one other thing that I would also like to do at some point, not right now, is to continue the highway that we have underneath this city right down here. Because if we're gonna fill in this all with houses and commercial zones and whatnot, it's gonna be a lot of traffic that needs to go down here, right? More traffic will come out here that needs to go here. This is gonna cause a problem at some point. So I've been thinking we're going to need to continue this highway and then split it up into two parts. And don't make the same mistake that I've done here. Split it up in two parts, let one part come out somewhere in this area and one part needs to come out into this area. I think that would be a perfect solution. Right, so back to the train track. I'm going to need to delete at least a little bit of it, and then we're going to need to flatten out the ground for the train station, and I think it's the best to just do it in the middle. And for right now, I'm just going to lay down the train track as it was before and just ignore all the other kinds of things, that at least the track is back. I was thinking very difficult before, like, do I need to continue the road first and then trying to aim it out? It is actually way more easier to solve all of this problem. And the thing that I'm going to do first is just see if I can aim out the middle. If you come from a certain distance and then, you know, see the train track and the train station once you are on this road, is what I'm trying to say here. And then I was like, you know, it is actually way more simpler. Why shouldn't we start out from the train track with a road so I know where to go? Let's just first do this down here, just very randomly. And then let's say, okay, let's do it like that. And I'm also going to delete a part track right down there. So now if we take the train station, you can see that if we want to aim this out onto the track, it is going to be difficult, right? You could say you know, maybe move up the road. It is aimed out for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what I've been doing wrong before, but apparently it works like this. I feel silly right now. So what I had in mind to do if it didn't fit in is not use this road, but use a wider road. And for some reason with the wider road, it did work out. So mind what I was saying, and you know, this will work. But it is aimed out in the middle. This is something that I wanted to do. And I'll let you just connect up all of the tracks. Now also in this case, I'm going to need to connect this up to that down here. And I'm just going to say, let's make this one 120 and then connect it up with what would be reasonable, I'm thinking. I haven't really checked out like what are official rules and that kind of stuff. You know what? 169 sounds very nice. And then also right away from this angle, I'm going to connect it up here, which I'm going to just turn this guy on and then get a nice 180 like that. Beautiful. And connect this also back up here. I think this should be fine. All right, perfect. I think this works out. It looks very good. And the only thing I now need to do right down here is also make it incline. I'm very sorry, train. So this is all the space that I can work with. In this case, I'm just going to click it right down here and then just move it down like that. What you're gonna do, train? Gonna go back up. Okay, that is perfect. All right, so we need to fix this up and make this look nice. Now, with that being done, I do want to add in some tracks. So we're going to take this passenger railway line tool, and I think I just have one. So let's just click one all the way out here and one out here. It's going to be connected up with the sound center right out here. And in this case, sooner or later, I'm going to add in some extra things. All right, there we go. We connected it up. I forgot that I always need to go back to the starting point. So now we have an extra line, and I would like to see if I can change the color at least of this one, make it some kind of a green one. Now I am wondering, can we actually change those trains? I'm not really sure if that is an option, because for buses you can't change it. Oh, okay. So, yep, I figured it out. It took a long while to figure it out. I see you can change the buses. I'm not sure, can you change the trams though? So you have to click on the tram line and go to line details, and then there is no vehicles available for whatever reason. So you cannot change the trams or trains. Maybe it's like an option that needs to be unlocked somewhere, which, let's see, this guy here might be a thing, right? A dedicated facility to make the train maintenance faster or increase capacity. Okay, I don't think there is an option for that. Let's take a look at the bus depot, which is this one. Okay, very good. It enables the depot to send out electric buses. Ah, I see. Okay, so it's fine, I guess. Now, the question that I still have in mind, will the depot also function as a pass-through type of deal? Which I basically mean, if I remove this guy right down here, will the train still move through? I need to click on to this guy and see the lines, because one of the lines is actually going to go out, which will be one of these. Ah, so it will pass through. So the orange line is going to the outside. Yeah, that is good to know. Now, the only thing that I do not understand, well, yes and no, is where is this line used for? It does seem like a one-liner goes in and a one-liner goes out. Maybe I should just keep in mind the focus that this one where this train now passes through is going to be the one that is going to need to be onto the main track. I think it would be a very good idea. In this case, I'm just gonna pause the whole show and I'm just gonna lay out the track first. There's no available path. Oh, I understand, I think, because I disconnected this stuff. Perfect. Alright, so now we fix this up as it's supposed to be. The complaints over there are gone, which is very nice. Now, I've also been saying I would love to implement this little thing down here. Alright, this is looking good. So trains can come from both ways into this little section here and then keep on moving wherever they need to be without they need to turn their locomotive around or they're forced to pull or push. Alright, so now we're going to need to move this guy up and or we're going to need to make a cargo hub. I am thinking, and that's not always a good thing, just move this guy up here. And in this case, I'm going to need to use this and randomly I'm going to need to add this because I have no freaking idea how far I need to be for the hub. And I'm just going to, let me see first, have I upgraded this thing? No, so I can just, maybe it's cheaper to actually move it up. Okay, so yeah, we're going to need to use the track that I've been testing before onto the road. Right now it is way too far away, so I'm going to need to move the road up. Now the one thing I find a little bit of a shame is that if you connect up the road to the track and then, you know, figure out where it needs to be, it can never be 100% straight into there. It's a little bit of a shame. But in this case, I can just, you know, to make it at least look a little bit pretty, we connect it up like that and won't see too much of it. Now, this one here is going to be a bit of a challenge because, you know, it's a lot that I'm going to need to do. But let's see, can we get a 69 out of this? Now, 69 is going to be all the way out here. Now, I'm not sure how realistic this would be, but what we might be able to do, though, is maybe move the road up just a slight little bit more. Alright, I think this will work out for now. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it here anyway, so anything else along the way will change over time to make it a little bit more sense. Which now gives me a better opportunity to connect things up as I wanted to. And now I'm thinking of it, cargo terminal. I wanted to have it here. But looking at things afterwards, it might be good to have it here, since the land here is for a very big piece, like, you know, it comes together. I'm not really sure what to say. Okay, so let's connect this back up and see if it wants to cooperate. Thank you, please, please, thank you. It does want to cooperate on this side, which is very nice. I think this is a very good angle, the 169. Alright, so my idea was to plop it down here, and then you can see why I was saying it so, because, you know, this area is quite flat and it's very nice to have it still close up. And the cargo is this guy, which it's a one-way only. Wait a minute, is that? It is. Let's plop it down here for a second. I don't even think about, you know, it's actually good that I didn't kept it in mind to place it down there. So, I mean, I still need a bit of space though, but down here would be so perfect still. And in this case, I am going to remove trees because I have been saying, even though I like these trees, it's way too much anyways. We're going to refresh this area and we have to deal with a lot of inclined land also. So what I think is the best thing to do is continue this road for a minute. Just out there, just the way it is. Unless, I'm thinking of it, this bridge is actually on a certain height, right? So what if we take the height, then we don't have to go down first and then go back up and make the land look completely wavy to say. So let's just slow down with this and go up until it says, yo, you cannot go further. Which is this down here. Pick this up and just increase all of that good stuff. I wasn't far off though, but yeah, this will help so much. Remove this road because now we can connect up the road to the land. Really? Oh yeah, I understand why that's happening. Because underneath the road it can only go so far, but behind the scenes it goes way more up. And behind the scenes is very easy to explain what I mean with that. And what I mean with that is I can just quickly show it to you. So if we click here, we're gonna go down, make this road now like a big one, so I can just perfectly show it to you. Behind the scenes, for the ones who don't know, is the part where the roads or the ground is still going up. So if I would do this, you can clearly see, and that is the whole reason why this happens, is the ground is still going up behind the scenes. And that's why if I would remove this road, it's gonna go crazy like that. Now of course we don't want people to crash all over the place, so I'm just gonna turn all of these guys off. They can crash down here. There needs to be a moment where they can crash anyways, or being forced to do that here. Yeah, that would make sense. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. Oh, and I just love how the game added asphalt between in here. You know, this game has things which I just love a lot, you know, and the other way around, like, why are there no stones in the game? Like, there are stones. Can I not add more stones, you know? Alright, so the real challenge will come now. How are we going to connect it up and what are we going to do with the terrain? Now, the first thing that I am going to figure out, and by the way, let's upgrade it right away. So I'm making it myself a little bit more difficult, right? It's always nice to make things more difficult. Alright, I made it further. I cut off twice the piece what I had before, and I think this might work out. So let's just try this again, and if not, then I'm just gonna need to go completely off camera and mess around with this. Okay, it's 89. This is 60. I'm going to take it. It's not complaining. Let's do it with this one too. It's going to cooperate, thank you please. 89, 60. Yeah, that will do. And then going to do the same but all the way around to say, so like that. 65. I mean, it's not too bad, right? It is not too bad, ain't it? Like it. Okay, so it's gonna go up 2 tracks. If it can go one way, it can go the other way. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so finally, after messing around for plenty of times, because I have no knowledge of how this needs to work with train tracks. Alright, so now that is connected up. The area here looks kinda nice. Yes, I've been removing all of the trees because now it is time to make this area look final. Alright, with all of that stuff being out of the way, it is now time to place it all back on a nice way. But before doing that, I got this water facility stuff and I'm going to need to give it a nice new spot because it's not very good to have this whole polluted area right down here, which, yeah, it's going to be very bad. And this is very bad. So, just for the sake of things, I'm just going to unlock a tile, which is this guy right down here. Thank you very much. And let's just do it like that. And let's do what needs to be done. And so on and so on. It is a new day for me. I got some things to show you. I got something that was a mistake. And there is something that we're going to change into the future. And I will explain you all about it. So let's start off with something that's going to be changed into the future. And that is the traffic. Holy moly, this is really bad. So yeah, I don't have to explain a lot, but this definitely going to need to change. Also, I want to put the cargo terminal a little bit more back here. Now, the thing, what is a mistake that I've discovered, which I wasn't expecting at all. You can see, and you can tell, that this down here is gone. These houses here are gone. So apparently, unlike the other decorative buildings in this map, like the castle, the graveyard, and the small house with the mill, which is right down here, these buildings that were here are gone once you use the tool in order to remove trees and stuff. So I was like removing a lot of trees and I was just busy and doing all kinds of stuff for hours upon hours. And then all of a sudden I discovered that the houses were gone. And I also noticed with the townhouses, unlike the castle and the mill, and the castle is something you can move them up if you like to. These houses, you can also not move them up, which I find a little bit of a shame. So in this case, let me show you around what I've been doing and also allow me to explain you why I got carried away. So after removing everything, I wasn't really happy with the topology. As you can see right now, I kind of fixed up the topology. This down here is very flat, which is very nice for the industrial area. What I've been doing is I've been using this tool and I have been streaking out bit by bit, part by part, to get all of the topology back as it was / is before. It took me so much time and I got a little bit frustrated because I wasn't sure like what should I be doing with the ground, because these buildings are so gigantic, which I absolutely do not mind. I really like them being gigantic. But if you place them into a piece that is inclined, it's going to dig out a whole part of the hill or mountain or something like that, which is not very nice at all. So the farmland is now looking like that. Is this more realistic? / is yes. / is maybe not the way how the topology with the water is. And sometimes you see it. Like I remember moments in life where we were driving. Even in the Netherlands you have those spots actually close by, where you're just driving and you see like a lot of trees, and then all of a sudden you see through the trees a bit of farmland, and more trees and more farmland, and then at some point the area pops up open, and then all of a sudden you see like a lot of farmland and trees in the background surrounding the farmland. So that's why I've chosen it to make the layout like this, not like too perfect. If it's about, you know, using all the fertile ground, as you can see, I just wanted it to be more alive, like lesser static, lesser ugly, lesser squarish. So I thought this would do, like having a couple of these like little land roads around, and also have like parts where there is no farm area. You know, I think this looks very nice, and I can't wait to see how this looks like when the trees have been like full grown, just like these big boys down here. Now also I placed the weather station or disaster station right down here. I thought it would be a nice spot aligned up with this road right down here. And in placing the satellite dish all the way out here in the middle of nowhere, I thought that the land here is very high and very free to say from all the surrounding things. So this is very nice, very calm down area. Sometimes a train passes by, which I doubt it's actually a good idea with all of the vibrations of the train. Anything else? Been placing the, what is it called, crematorium right down here. I have place for another garage for cars, and then I'm like, you know, let's place a new one here, and also have this garage at the side of it, which is for the future expansion. I've been explaining I want to keep that in mind for the service area. I got the park maintenance depot down here. I can still upgrade it if needed, which in this case, yeah, here would be perfect. And I can have one more here and maybe down there. This down here is the road maintenance. I thought this would look nice like that. I still need to add in some planting right down here. Now I have also been thinking about the roading. So we have one bridge here. If people want to go here, they can go via this, or they need to go all the way via this, or, you know, further. What I wanted to do is split stuff up before it needs to split up there, because all the traffic that comes here will interrupt each other, right? All about the roundabout. What if I can enlighten the traffic here by letting all the people that need to go there already go via this? I thought it would be a good idea. Also for the way back. Now the paper factory right down here in the front of the recycle center. I mean, paper, recycling, you know, it comes very close to each other. Have to have recycled paper also, especially nowadays in the future. So I got 2 recycle centers. It was very much needed, and both of them are upgraded with a extra depot. You can see 27 out of 30, 25 out of 30. If in the future I'm going to need to have another recycle center, which if we can place it, yeah, we can place it. Do we have enough space? Yeah, we have space at the side, at this side, to place this guy, and we have space on the other side to place these guys, right? So one more in the future will fit here. The reason why I'm saying that is, if I already start building industry here, then expanding is going to be troublesome. Yeah, right down here, like a little project. Now this is not like It is gridded up, but it's a reasonable size gridded up industrial area. Making an industrial area is a little bit difficult, I find, but for the future, you know, we can make smaller projects, make things a little more spacious, a little less cramped up, and make it look like a Death Star is what I'm trying to say here. We got some space here for industrial area, here, down here, you know, spread it out, smear it all over the place. For the future, once these trees down here have been grown, I would like to move up the forest industry right down here, and I would like to add in another extra road going here, there, and there, and then have the forest industry lined up with that road, so there is quick access to the industrial area and quick access to the terminal. Then I'm just gonna leave this area empty. I'm not really aiming for make a Death Star or whatever. Focus more closer to the city is gonna be a thing. And I'm also thinking about it. What might also be a very nice thing for the future is to move these stone things up to right down here. So I have the stone area here. And of course this building right down here. I thought it would be nice to have the Geological Research Center right down here. Because the Geological Research Center research the ground, and I think this is a very nice area for students. They can, you know, have the little shovel and dig and learn about resources, what is here, what is there, instead of having this guy, you know, into the city. Of course, maybe in the future I'm going to need to make a little bus thing down here, and then also have like a bus come by to drop people off. For the future, we're going to need to add in another train depot. And let me know down below in the comment section if I could have done this differently. Also, if you have a solution for this down here, and or if you have some general ideas or would like to name some districts, then let me know down below in the comment section. Oh god, what is going on here? That looks like a fire. No shit, Sherlock. Where is the fireman? Dispatch, where are you? All the way out here? Wait a minute.